Hello everybody. So Cindy Branson, as the name says, I am a BUILDERALL team leader. Even though I am technology challenged, I still know and learn and teach, and I want you to understand that it is always going to be a journey. No matter what you're learning or what you're doing, whether it's email, whether it's marketing, whether it is affiliate memberships and affiliate marketing, no matter what it is, there's always going to be a learning curve, and I am proof in the pudding, of course. So let me teach you a little bit of what I have learned about email marketing and why it's such a priority for any business in 2021. And I want it to be quick and simple today, okay? So let's, I have some slides I am going to bring on up and use them as my focal point, okay? So let's go over, here we go. All right, so let's go to number one. We're going to start right off the bat here. Number one, email is more effective than social media. And this is in regards to customer acquisition. Good morning. So it's still very important for social media to be part of your marketing plan. There is no doubt about that. But when it comes to interacting and strengthening client relationships, that's where you want to have some good input and good focus for social media. When it comes to having the ability to convert and have that potential of making those customers into buyers and members and supporters, then email is going to be much more effective for you. Okay, there are so many stats out there, and this is from emarketer.com, which is a few years old now, but it just keeps on growing, folks. There is no doubt about that. These numbers continue to grow, and it basically is saying that 81% of people and 80% of retention, sorry, let me clarify that, 81% and 80% of respondents send email marketing drives customer acquisition and retention. That means that's huge. That's a huge part of their marketing program and how they actually acquire those clients and how they retain them as well. And as we all know, it is much cheaper, much more economical to retain a customer than it is to find and make a new one. It's important here to see that, you know, organic search, paid search, social media is on this chart. And I mean, email marketing just blows them all away. Even organic search, somebody specifically searching you, is still only a 62%. And 36% for retention. I mean, you go down to mobile marketing and it goes down to 16%. I mean, that's a huge drop. And I mean, there are plenty of people out there that'll say email is dying, email is even dead, but it's just not true at all. The stats continue to prove it. All right, number two, why email is so important for marketing in 2021 is it's cost effective, and we are all looking for, especially all of our startups and entrepreneurs that are pivoting and businesses that are trying to survive right now. Inexpensive and effective marketing is a huge factor. They need it to maintain their budgets, and small businesses can reach a larger number of consumers with email. So not only is it cheaper and it's going to be more effective, but you're getting a larger number of consumers that you're able to reach, as opposed to social media or even a newsletter or print ad. I mean, of course, you're going to get very expensive when you start talking about print ads and radio ad buys or magazine buys. Even digital magazines can get very costly. If you can grow an email list and you can keep that email list clean, which we'll talk about, then that is gigantic in keeping your marketing costs down. So let's get to a stat here, and this is from shop.org and Forrester Research, and they say 85% of U.S. retailers consider email the most effective way to acquire customers. 85% are saying, let me repeat it, that email is the most effective way to acquire customers. I mean, you can't just, there's no way to dispute that. And despite the growing technology for social media platforms, email still remains number one. All right, so what does that mean? Email, ROI is always, we talk about inexpensive, we talked about effective, but let's get to that number. For every dollar spent on email marketing, the ROI, the return on investment, is $38. For every dollar spent, you end up $38 back in the coffers. That is like ROI like I've never seen. Direct Marketing Association comes up with that stat every year. And again, another stat that continues to grow in email marketing. So let's get back to that clean list. Having a clean email list is very important. It's important because there's so many factors that go into determining your clout in email and making sure that you don't hit that spam folder. So you want to keep that list clean of people. Sometimes people want to subscribe. Sometimes you haven't had a response or an open in a very long time. Maybe you put that year on there and you clean those lists out. Okay, or somebody has moved out of your territory and things like that. You keep up with your clients so that you know that they are still interested in receiving your emails. All right, so then we also have cost benefits, and the ROI will increase through the closer relationship established with the recipients. So just based on that $30 to every $38 return on every dollar invested in email marketing. So basically that just increases your cost benefits. It just keeps bringing it up and up and up because you're establishing the relationship. And what email marketing can really truly do for you, better than even social media possibly, is that like, know, and trust factor, folks. We talk about it so many times. I talk about it. Chris talks about it. BUILDERALL talks about it. Anybody that is in marketing will tell you like, know, and trust is what you are always striving for when you are meeting people and trying to grow your client base. The person knows you, they like you, they trust you, they're going to buy from you. Okay, so what else about this clean list is important is you'll have a more positive response, and the responses will be received more quickly. So when somebody sees your email come in, they're more apt to respond to it faster and give you a reply or take action on it versus letting it sit there and then maybe a week later they go through hundreds of emails and they just start deleting them. So having that relationship with the person is going to be huge when it comes to having them open your emails. And that's exactly what we use email for, is to gain the know, like, and trust factor. And that's where you always want to make sure that there's a good amount of storytelling, telling you who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, as opposed to the value. You also have that value, driving the value of the emails, making sure that there's something in there that they're going to gain for free before you drop the offer. Okay, so it's usually 1 to 4 is the ratio for offers to value. All right, so number 3 on personal and customizable. This means emails can really be very direct to who it is that is receiving it, without a doubt, as opposed to social media where you are putting something out for a very large audience to possibly react to. Personal emails can, you can really get very customized, again that word, because you have the power to, with automators and with, I use Mailing Boss, as you all know, for BUILDERALL, and there are up-tuned ways to segment your list so that you can really tailor the messages and get even more value to the recipient, because you know their behaviors, you understand which ones they opened in the past and where they're going. And you can use things like tags that use triggers to send them emails. Okay, so then include the recipient's name in the subject line. This is a huge, this number actually surprised me. Campaign Monitor reports that 26% greater open rates if you include the recipient's name in the subject line. That means that one single line, the headline that they see in their inbox before they open their email, using their name in that line will give you a 26% greater open rate, and that's gigantic. So don't forget that. That's something that you may not want to do every single time, but you want to use that tactic. Definitely use that tactic. Okay, now email should never be spam. You just don't want to throw things out there and like you're just throwing it to the wind and seeing what might get to the wall and stick. You want to be direct. You want to be personal. You want to customize it. You want to do it the right way. That's the way you're going to grow and make your email list, solid. It's going to be what you want it to be, as opposed to just hoping and praying that somebody might click and open. If you really garner the relationship, if you really grow it, and you're not sending spam, you're sending value, that you're using the email as a direct communication to your customer, then they're going to see that and they're going to maintain that relationship with you. All right, let's move on to number 4. We have number 4 here, and that is action, 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 action. So as humans, we're already trained to take action when we receive an email, right? We've been doing it for so long now. We know that we have to do something with that email. Otherwise, we end up with an inbox with tens of thousands over the course of a year. So you want to know that that's in our nature, without a doubt. Okay, we are already trained to take action. That's why email is so effective. One of the big reasons why it's so effective. You want to make your email transactional by nature. So that means make them take an action, whether it's a simple reply, maybe a question you're asking them, or if, of course, there's offers available, responses, any way that you can get them to click on a link, download a coupon. Taking action is the goal of every email, okay? So using email automation can further your engagement. Of course, this is where you add those triggers so that everything is automated, just like Mailing Boss, like I've talked in the past. It is, you are able to do this as a trigger or time sensitive automation. So that means that time sensitive means, okay, so they subscribe to they downloaded your lead magnet to get onto your email list, right? So now they are going to automatically, possibly within minutes, get that first email welcoming them and thanking them. And then maybe a day later, you do a follow-up, and then maybe it's 3 days later, 5 days later, and you do that stagnant based on what your emails are. Now, trigger based is where they've taken an action to cause another email to trigger and send them, or maybe it's an inaction that causes the email. So maybe if it's they clicked on a certain link, then they get another email. If maybe they've opened 3 emails in a row, then they instigate or engage another email to be sent. Or maybe it's inaction. Maybe it's because they have not open an email in a certain length of time that you then send an email that is very personalized to try to get them to engage again. Okay, now it is also noted by Experian that it's 8 times more likely to have opens and clicks than any other type of email. Okay, so that's transactional emails. So that means that you got your strong headline, you're using their name, there's an action that they have to take. Transactional emails, okay? So every, email, it's inexpensive, it's very effective, but it does take time. Just like anything that is free, it takes time. So take the time to learn how to craft the emails, craft those headlines. Those headlines are a big part of why people will or will not open an email. Okay, number 5, why is email so important in marketing for 2021 is it's measurable. And anything that you can measure, you can improve on, right? So with taking the guesswork out, email software tracks your opens, your clicks, it tracks unsubscribers and so forth. And that allows you to easily make adjustments to improve performance. So if you see a certain email went out and you see that not too many people opened it, maybe it's time to take a look at the headline, or maybe it's time to look at the opening paragraph or the action that you have asked them to take. Okay, so making adjustments is important for improvement. It's without a doubt. You don't want to just set it and forget it with email. So using email automation can also further engagement because it's so excuse me, regulated. It's not regulated. It's on that timer. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be sitting in front of a computer to send the email. Okay, so that allows it to go out automatically. It allows it to be received without your immediate action for that particular time it's sent. So that can further, I mean, it just makes you keep a schedule basically. Okay, and that, you know, just like we post out on social media, some people post out for a week or a month, you can do the same thing with your emails, and that automation will further your engagement. And then we talked about test headlines and the importance of them a little bit, and they are just oh so important. Never forget, test different headlines. You can do this with A/B testing. Do the same email with a couple of different headlines and see which one gets more open rates. It is very important to test your headlines. There could be, you know, variances in things like, you know, a free offer or 20% off coupons, or using the word coupon versus discount, free versus claim, things like that, or even softer like, hi, it's Cindy, remember me? Or hi, it's time to talk about snow removal, or whatever, depending on what your industry of course is. There could be different headlines and different aggressiveness to each of those headlines, and you want to test that based on your audience too. And you know, once you start learning and seeing patterns, you can, that's where you're going to possibly have a segmentation in your list of learning that pattern of which emails certain people are going to open the get me something free, and some people are going to just want to hear the stories. And it will depend on the headline of whether they open those or not. So that's all trackable and it's measurable, and it's a way for you to improve on performance once you start seeing the patterns. All right, and our final tip here for today in email marketing for 2021 is number 6, and that is mobile devices, folks. Mobile devices provide constant access, and pretty much our mobile devices go everywhere with us, right? If we don't have a phone, sometimes people are carrying their pads around or their laptops around, but pretty much for the greater population, we have access in our hands to our email all the time. And I'm sorry I did not write who I got this stat from, but 91% of people access email via smartphones, as opposed to only 75% are for social. Now that's a big difference. That shows you the importance of people, of what they're using their smartphones for. And the majority of the population across the globe use email. So don't miss out on this. I mean, it is not going away. It's not slowing down. There's billions and billions of emails sent every day. We do not want to be part of the spam campaigns, of course, but we want to utilize this tool as the cost-effective way it is meant to be used to engage our customers and to convert our customers. All right, so daily activities. So this is just going to show you here. Here it is. ExactTarget gave me that stat. So accessing email, 91%. Okay, and smartphone, that's for a smartphone. For a tablet, 69%. Now, text messaging at 90 and 23. Now, that's another great way to engage with customers is SMS, which is text messaging, another form of marketing. But we're not getting into that today. But that's pretty big right there. So you can see the difference in what people are using their smartphones for. And then we go down to social media. So many people think social media is the number one thing, and it's not. It's all the way down there at 75%. Okay, it's even below just searching the internet. So most people aren't using their phone number one for social media. It's accessing the email. So that's very important to keep in mind, especially when it comes to the length of your email. So if 91% of people are looking at the email on a phone, You got to remember the size of the screen, the size of the font, and test it and make sure, you know, how long are they going to scroll? If they have to scroll and scroll and scroll, I mean, if they're interested, that's fantastic. But you shouldn't have a 5-6 minute read on an email. It should always be, you know, I would say between 30 and 90 seconds on an email. It shouldn't be very long because of this exact reason. Because people are looking at it on their phones. Okay, so keep that in mind and utilize that. Okay, so let me come back to the screen. All right, so thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Please do, if you're new, take a look at that subscribe button and click on it for me. Also ring the bell and you'll get the notifications the next time I'm on. And I am trying to do more videos, guys. So you'll see the definition videos coming out. You'll see more live videos coming out. So please do subscribe. I appreciate your support. I truly do. And if you have any questions for me, always feel free to make a comment. Or reach me through my email. I am always available in that sense to answer questions for you. Okay, so thank you so much and have a fantastic day. Bye bye.